Hi everyone, this is Demo Gonzalez of Heartwood Financial Services. Hey, thanks for tuning in for our latest financial education video. Today's video, we're going to get into some of the latest and what's going on with the crypto world, and also a little bit more on my take on this. Also, we're going to talk about a technique that not a lot of people are aware of that can really help you in saving taxes before year end. So let's dive right in. All right, so you've probably heard in the news there's this company called FTX. And this company FTX, run by this gentleman here, Sam Bankman-Fried, nice name, right? Basically, he was running a Ponzi scheme with FTX. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details. You can call me. I can give you a little bit more detail. I don't want to bore you with that. But the big message that I want to give here is that this was essentially like an exchange like the New York Stock Exchange. Now, the difference is, of course, that there's not a lot of regulation, especially for exchanges that are not registered in the United States, like this one, that aren't publicly traded companies like Coinbase or some other exchanges that are much bigger and have much more U.S. regulations. And so essentially what happened is he was running a Ponzi scheme, and a lot of the people that put money in this exchange to buy and sell coins of different types essentially are going to probably end up losing a lot of their money. And this gentleman here is probably going to end up in jail. Okay? Now, what I want to clear up is that I don't want people to conflate what's going on with this crook in this exchange with the actual cryptocurrencies themselves. It doesn't mean that the cryptocurrencies themselves are bad. It's just that this person was running a crooked operation in an unregulated area outside of the country. Okay? And so I'm hearing a lot of things from different financial people and from the mainstream media oftentimes talking about, oh, no, this is proof that crypto in general, and they put Bitcoin into that group, is unreliable and it's a scam and this and that. Now, you can go back to the videos that we made almost a year ago now talking about crypto, and I was warning people that crypto is the Wild West, especially if you're doing it in these exchanges that are out there that are not regulated. And, you know, one day they're there, one day they're gone. And the third one is, how can we invest in this? Maybe the first question should be, should we invest in this? And then how should we invest in this? And what are the more safer ways to do this? Because, you know, it still is kind of the wild, wild west out there with you know, the New York Stock Exchange was doing something wrong, so every stock that's traded in the stock exchange is a scam. Well, no, of course not, right? Microsoft's in there, Google's in there, Amazon. You know, these are all companies that have utility, but the exchange itself was the one that was crooked. And so that is a similar parallel here to what happened with FTX. The exchange was the crook. And some of these coins, now of course some of them I could still make the argument that there's not much usefulness for them and are probably going to disappear, but that doesn't mean all of them will. And it doesn't mean that they're all scams. But definitely buyer beware if you're buying these coins and you're going into these exchanges that are not fully regulated. Now I feel like there's going to be a lot more regulation because of this. And you're going to probably see a lot of the big banks that will come in and maybe even buy up some of these operations and bring it in line with more regulation, which will be a good thing all the way around for clients and for the technology itself. And I want to leave you with the bottom line of what I would say if you were to ask me what I think about crypto assets. So first of all, I would say that these cryptocurrencies are very volatile, so invest with knowing that you could see volatility that is much more even than when you see it in stocks. There's still a lot of fraud and scams and worthless coins that are out there, so be very, very careful with what you invest in. Obviously, do your research. Make sure it has an actual technology that backs it, that has some use. Okay. And of course, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because these assets, they could go to zero in some cases. So in a lot of cases, they probably will. So just be careful with that. And of course, if you do invest in some of these, I would recommend to do no more than that 1 to 3% range, maybe to use it as a portfolio diversifier. All right, the end of the year is quickly approaching. It's almost Thanksgiving, so people start thinking about last minute tax saving ideas. So I wanted to bring up one that I think is very useful, especially around the end of the year, called the qualified charitable distribution. This is basically where you take money out of your IRA, and if you're over 70 and a half, you can make a gift directly to a charity. Okay, and if you do that, you're allowed to use that amount to lower your income. So in other words, when you normally take money out of an IRA, it's taxable income. Well, if you make that gift directly to a charity, it actually doesn't count as as taxable income. And so this is a very popular strategy, especially for people that like to make gifts to charities, but are maybe not itemizing their taxes, and they're just using the standard deduction, because this is a way you can actually get a tax benefit for making a charitable gift. So in the next slide, I want to show you some of the little quirks to it, just to remember as you go through this process. All right, so here's 4 quick tips to keep in mind when you are considering doing a qualified charitable distribution. Now, there's more than 4 rules to this, so of course, if you have any questions as a follow-up here, feel free to reach out to me. Of course, also reach out to your tax professional that can help you with some of the questions, because this, of course, is all, with the IRS involved. So you must be 70 and a half or older. Okay, I mentioned that earlier. So anybody over 70 and a half can go ahead and do a qualified charitable distribution from their IRA. But I would also point out, number 2 here, that not all IRAs or retirement accounts are eligible. So there's, get into it, but basically traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs are eligible for this, not like 401ks and things like that. There's an annual limit. Okay, you can only do up to $100,000 per year. So if you want to do more than that, this is going to have a limitation. And then the last piece is that technically the money has to go directly to the charity from the IRA. There can't be anything in between, like getting the money to yourself and then sending it to the charity. It has to come out directly from the IRA. That's why it's really handy if your IRA custodian will let you write a check out of the account. That's a really cool way to do it. If not, you'll have to have them request a check that goes directly from the IRA to the charity. Of course, there's a lot more involved here, but these are 4 quick things that come up a lot. I thought that would be helpful, and it's a great technique that could really help you, especially if you're doing the standard deductions. Thanks. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this week is Thanksgiving, and I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful time. This is one of my favorite holidays because it's low stress. You don't have the stress of making a gift or receiving a gift or anything like that. It's just eating delicious food, sitting around a table with your family, talking about what you're thankful for. And I'm definitely thankful for all of my clients that are supporting me with Heartwood Financial Services. I appreciate all the time that I get to spend with them. I love what I get to do. I get to hang out with my friends and make a living at the same time. It's wonderful. I'm very blessed. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thank you very much. God bless.